Let's see this question. A and B are two stations 600 kilometers apart. So they are saying that two stations are there, and the distance between these two stations is 600 kilometers apart. A train starts from A and travels towards B. So A, B. Let's say a train is starting from A. Let me call that train as TA or train A. You might feel that T means time, so let me write train. So train A is the train which is starting from A, and it is moving towards B at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Another train starts from B. Let me call that train as train B. Starts from B and moves towards A at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. After how many hours will they meet? That is the question. Okay. So there are various ways of solving it. So one thing is, if you assume that the time taken is x, let us say both of them are going to meet after x hours, right? Then what should happen? In these x hours, whatever distance is covered by this train, let's say, and whatever distance is covered by this train, if I sum up all those two distances, that is exactly going to be equal to 600 kilometers, right? That way you can solve it. Let us say they are going to meet after x hours. Then how much distance will be covered by this train in x hours? Since it is moving at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour, the distance covered by it is 40 into x, right? And how much distance will be covered by this train? So that will be 60 into x, right? Now these two, see what you get. If you assume that x is in hours, here you get in kilometers, here you get in kilometers, and it is also given in 600 kilometers. So I can equate it to 600. Are you getting this? Then if you try to find out the value of x, you are going to get the x as, I think, 100x equal to 600, right? And x equal to 6. So in 6 hours they are going to meet. You can solve it that way. Or the other way of solving it is, maybe when both the trains are traveling in the opposite direction, you can see the distance between them is decreasing, and the distance between them is decreasing because of two things. One is this train is moving and that train is moving, right? So overall the distance is going to be decreasing at a rate of 40 plus 60, since they are moving in opposite direction. That is called as relative speed, right? So if I use the concept of relative speed, then both of them are actually moving together. Therefore the relative speed is going to be 60 plus 40, 100 kilometers. How to understand that relative speed is, in this case relative speed is 100 kilometers per hour. So how to understand this is, in every hour these two trains are decreasing their distance between them by 100 kilometers, right? When will the distance be 0? If they cover the entire 600 kilometers, isn't it? If they decrease the entire distance from 600 to 0, then it is going to be covered, right? So in that way, if you try to solve it, in 1 hour they are going to decrease the distance between them by 100 kilometers, right? Then how much time will it take for them to decrease the distance between them, if the initial distance is 100? So it is going to be 600 by 100, which means 6 hours again. So either by using the relative speed concept you can solve it, or by using this time you can solve it. And one more way also you can solve it. Let us assume that the one more way is, you can assume that if there is a train starting from A, let's call it as train A, and then train starting from B, let's call it as train B. Now you can assume that both of them are meeting at a distance of exactly x kilometers from A, right? And now what about the distance from B? It will be 600 minus x, right? Since both of them are going to meet at the same time, so you can assume that this distance, the whatever time required to cover this distance, should be equal to the time taken to time required to cover this distance by B. Are you getting this? time taken by A to cover this distance should be equal to time taken by B to cover this distance. Now what is the time taken by A to cover this distance? X by 40, y distance by speed, right, should be equal to, what is this, 600 minus x by 60. Got it? Now you can cross multiply it and you can find out the distance at which they are going to meet. From this distance you can find out the time, right? So if you want to solve it, it is going to be 2, it is going to be 3, therefore 3x is going to be 1200 minus 2x, right? So what does it imply? 5x equal to 1200, right? So what is it? X equal to 1200 by 5, right? 240. Got it? So at 240 kilometers from A, we are going to, they are going to meet. So what is the time required in order to cover this 240 by train A? The time is when they are going to meet. So what is the answer? 240 divided by, what is the speed? Speed of A is, I think, 40. So again you are going to get 6 hours. So you can use any method, right? Either you can assume the time is something, after this time they are going to meet, or you can assume that at some distance they are going to meet, or you can use the concept of relative speed and you can solve it. So whatever method you like, you can apply it. Okay, fine.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkey's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkey, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkey is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkey. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is, we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.